Good evening and welcome to tonight's broadcast of the Speed Xfinity Series, brought to you by the Gold Octopus. Tonight's race is the Sim Rap Guy 120 here at Auto Club Speedway, and joining me as always, Joe Nunziata. Joe, this is going to be a very, very fun race tonight. A lot of different grooves, a lot of different ways for these drivers to make it around the racetrack. This is going to be a ton of fun and a pretty difficult race for the drivers overall.
Yeah, this looks, judging by what they've been doing in practicing, it seems like it's going to be a fun one.
That is for sure. We'll take a look at the race facts for tonight's race. This is the Speed Xfinity Series presented by the Gold Octopus. Sim Rap Guy 120 here at Auto Club. A couple of things to watch out for. Multiple grooves, multiple ways to get you around this racetrack here at Auto Club Speedway. You can run all the way down low like we see Ryan Shelton doing right now. You could run all the way up in the wall and pretty much every single lane in between. So especially on the initial start and all the restarts where we may see tonight, these guys can get wide quickly, and whenever they fan out, they're going to have to single themselves back out, which always could cause a couple of more wrecks, Joe.
Yeah, it's looking fun. It's not a big track; it's only 2 miles, but weather's looking nice. Not a lot of humidity, not a lot of wind. It should be just a lot of skill and that, like you said, watch out for those bumpy roads.
Yeah, the backstretch especially is incredibly bumpy. So if we get a shot of any drivers heading down the backstretch, watch the front end of the car. It's going to be bouncing quite a bit. And, you know, one little bump could get you sideways. And, you know, if you're in front of the field, you could very easily take out everyone. Another thing to watch out for is watch for those seams. As we see here, the cars running down there, you can see the bumps quite a bit, especially here on the 43 machine, just watching the front end bump up and down. But going through the corners, those dark seams between asphalt patches, those can get very slippery, especially on cold tires early in a run and as the race goes on. Not a whole lot of grip on the asphalt seam itself. You get one tire on there and you hit it just the wrong way, you could be going around just like you see the 109 of Steve Kirby doing here.
It's going to be a lot of fun. This one's going to be a fun one.
That is for sure. Only a couple minutes left here in practice for the Speed Xfinity Series. I do want to tell you about tonight's sponsor, the Sim Rap Guy. Chris and his crew are fantastic, dedicated to blending the passion with precision. Sim Rap Guy utilizes the experience gained in NASCAR, actually designing cars in NASCAR, to provide some of the best-looking custom iRacing wraps on the service. Sim Rap Guy knows that whether you're winning races or you're just trying to cut your teeth and move up those iRacing ranks, looking good matters. So make sure you check them out, facebook.com/thesimrapguy, and order yours today. I have a Sim Rap Guy paint scheme on my car, and it is fantastic. I absolutely love it. Take a look here on your screen now, the prices for each of the individual cars, and even if you want some pictures taken from your league, or if you just thought you had a really cool race and you want to get a bunch of photos taken in the sim, make sure you check them out. facebook.com/thesimrapguy, and reach out. Chris and his team are going to hook you up for sure. So we've still got about 3.5 minutes left here in practice. And the driver of the number 56 car, Richard Reagan Jr., has the fastest up on the board with a 40.61. Ryan Shelton in P2 with a 40.79. And everyone else very, very close together to one another. Taking a look at the gaps, looks like Martin Plute as well as Josiah Vincent basically even right there on the best time board.
Yeah, this is so last week there was like a 2 to 3 second gap between first and last, and here I'm noticing it's less than a second.
Yeah, and especially here at the big track here. Most tracks usually about 1.5 miles here at Auto Club Speedway, the 2-mile track. RIP in peace, Auto Club Speedway in real life. Definitely a shame that this track is really now only the front stretch. So tough break there, but seeing it preserved here in iRacing is absolutely fantastic. And we'll see if Ryan Shelton's able to give us a good lap. Let's jump on board with Shelton just to kind of see what a lap around Auto Club is going to look like. And the broadcaster's curse strikes again as Shelton gets in the wall. But you can see here that sun blinding down the backstretch, and you can feel the bumps too as
really,
as Shelton's going down the straightaway, right up against the wall. Watch out for those seams.
I could only imagine all those bumps. All it takes is one good bump, and then you're just high infield.
Exactly, and you know the speeds are pretty high as well, so that even could be another another uh-oh moment. I mean, you saw Shelton there get almost 200 miles an hour as he dives off into the corner.
Yeah, I know when I'm driving on the parkway, it gets a little bumpy like this. I'm only doing 60, 65. God knows what would happen if I was at 200 and hitting those bumps. Jeep or no Jeep, I'd be out.
We see Shelton here this time go all the way down to the apron. He got a little loose, had to catch it coming out of the corner. But, I mean, that's kind of what you're going to want to expect for tonight's race. Just a lot of searching, trying to see what lines are working a little bit better for you. Is the high line better in 1 and 2? Maybe the low line's better in 3 and 4. Maybe vice versa. But looking at Shelton there, just drive right along that seam, using the seam to kind of help pitch the car just enough to get him to turn better, but also not enough to send him towards that outside wall. As we look here, Matt Gannon, one of the newcomers to the league. Looks like he actually just signed up earlier today. Driving the number 114 car. 22 drivers have entered tonight's session. Fastest driver in the session as time expires is the 56 of Richard Reagan Jr. Slowest driver on track tonight did a 41.9. So 1 second separating, or 41.5 rather, 1 second separating the fastest car from the slowest car on track tonight.
Crazy.
So we're going to see how all of this is going to handle qualifying. Couple of cars heading out on track at the moment. Here's the 33 of Evan Williams. Jason Shue out there, Matt Allen out there as well. Chris Darling there as well, the SimRap guy himself.
Paint always on point.
Yeah, I love the paint scheme that Chris and his team did. Has it's a Tabletop Trio sponsored machine. Nice nice little metallic flake in there. Has a wood grain base because, you know, Tabletop Trio. Definitely a beautiful set of cars. But had him do my ARCA car, my Xfinity car, and my truck. So fantastic, fantastic paint. Real talented guy. So you definitely want to check him out. Facebook.com/thesimrapguy. Looks like everyone pretty much out on track at the moment. Let's see what Chris is going to do here in his first lap. Jason Shue coming out, doing a 42.3 for his first lap. Or 41.1, rather. Evan Williams goes top of the board. Chris Darling in P2 at a 40.98. Williams fastest with a 40.9. Now Ryan Shelton comes in with a 40.7. A lot of speeds coming in here quickly. As you see the rest of the times come in on the left-hand side of your screen. We'll see if Darling's able to collect and get a little bit faster out of 4. Right up against the wall. Darling is going to pick up a little bit. Only a 40.9. That'll put him right at P7 at the moment. Shelton finishing his lap up.
Again, very interesting. Seems less than a second.
There's Garrett Austin coming across to finish his lap. Tim Branson. There's Branson going down the backstretch again. Take a look at those bumps.
Yeah, I am not jealous of them racing this track and not me today.
4 a.m. watch on Twitch saying this is so relaxing. Definitely is a lot of fun. I was talking to Joe before the broadcast went on, and I was saying I could just sit here and listen to the cars drive by all day.
Yeah, it's a very calming, even though it's like, what, 800 horsepower, 900 horsepower?
Yeah, give or take. Here's Stacy Hunter finishing the second lap, doing some pit stop practice. Always great to see. Once you go in, you put your 2 laps in, and you're free to go and do as many laps as you need to in the time frame, or practice hitting pit road, because there very well could be some green flag pit stops out there. So it's great to see, you know, a lot of these drivers taking that time and using it to their advantage to say, okay, this is where I need to brake. This is where I need to go for my my marks for when I'm coming down pit road.
So this is a normal 60-lap race today. No tricky anything.
Just a straight up 60-lap race. No stages. The only stages we get for the Speed Xfinity Series are on road courses when they're random yellows. So no random yellows here for us tonight. As qualifying is just getting ready to wrap up. Nobody else on track. A little surprised to see someone like Richard Reagan had a great qualifying or a great practice effort. But he did not put in a lap, so he may actually be starting towards the back of the pack tonight as the session wraps up. And Ryan Shelton is going to be your pole sitter for tonight. And that being said, Joe, let's take a look at the starting lineup for tonight's race. The number 97 of Ryan Shelton is on the pole for tonight's race. Nicholas Coate is there as well in P2. Matt Gagnon, newcomer to the league, in 3rd. Martin Plute there in 4th. Row number 3 shows Reese Bogue and Sidarius Diaz. Row number 4, Chris Darling and Evan Williams. Garrett Austin and Tim Branson round up row number 5. Scott Leonard, Stacy Hunter in row number 6. Jason Shue and Edward Peltz in row 7. Row 8 has Matt Allen and the 35 of Zach Williams. Row 9, Richard Reagan Jr. and Josiah Vincent. Row number 10 has Chris Melton and Stephen Kirby. Row 11 has Ben Mashburn and Joey Barrett. And Ryan Newman starting in 23rd, shotgun on the field. Joe, 60 laps tonight. Fuel strategy very well could come into play. This is going to be a ton of fun for these drivers, and I can't wait to call all 60 laps tonight.
Yeah, fuel. I got to imagine tires with the way they're bumping up and down. There's gonna be contact. There's no way there isn't.
No. That is for sure, as the field driving off onto the front stretch. Everybody getting themselves ready to go. Zach Austin in the chat saying, let's go Austin, Peltz, Williams, and Kirby. Go Team Gold Octopus. Let me know who you are cheering for in the chat as well, whether on YouTube or on Twitch. And while you're at it, make sure to follow along, subscribe if you're over on YouTube, follow us on Twitch, like the video, share, comment, all that fun stuff. Let us bring sim racing and the Speed Xfinity Series to everybody who's into that kind of stuff. But in the meantime, this is going to be a ton of fun. Pace car getting ready to pull off. Field is in the hands of the flagman. Shelton into the restart zone. Green flag is out. And we're racing here at Auto Club. A good, clean start for everybody. 2 by 2 as they drive off into turn number 1. The pack going to be reaching speeds of over 200 miles an hour as they move their way along this track, especially for the next time by. Shelton on the outside. Here's Gannon on the inside. They're going to be side by side for the lead, or for the lead rather. Jason Shue a little bit further back down to the inside. Here's Gagnon to the inside. Matt Gagnon has the position. He's going to have the lead coming out of turn number 4. Now we have a side-by-side battle for second between Bogue and Shelton. One car in the wall. I believe that might be the 30, or I believe that's the 35. Leads lap number 1. Side-by-side battle for P number 3. Nicholas Cody there. Looks like the top few guys have been able to string this one out single file. Good battle towards the back there with the 33 machine. That's Evan Williams. Williams to the outside. He's trying to take a peek around the outside of Richard Reagan. Reagan has the position. Looks like one car might have grazed the wall just a little bit. In the chat, B. Rai saying Raising Cane's dubbed tonight. Very well could be. Williams is looking pretty good in practice. Still early on. As it looks like a little more contact against the wall. That might have been the 18 of Ben Mashburn in that Dr. Pepper machine. As so far, some pretty good racing all throughout the field. We'll get our scoring bug back up. So Gagnon has the lead opened up to about half a second over the 04 of Reese Bogue. Everyone minding their manners so far, but you can really see the bumps down the backstretch watching those cars battle back and forth.
Yeah, and that camera angle.
Just how much it upsets the car. It's pretty difficult out there.
I got to imagine it would upset the drivers too.
That's for sure. A little bit further back in the pack, we'll pick up this battle between, well, pretty much half the field. As we watch the 81 of Martin Plute, he's driving off in front of the pole sitter Ryan Shelton. Shelton's fallen back about 6 places. Currently under attack by the 11 of Chris Darling. There's Garrett Austin to the inside. Austin drives the corner in deep. He's going to get around the 97 of Shelton. Shelton falling back hard. I don't know if he's having an issue or what exactly is going down, but Shelton started on the pole. Now he's falling back to right around P10. I can only imagine he's going to be saving tires and kind of expecting this to have a green flag feel to the race as we're 6 laps in.
Yeah, so far so good. I was expecting a little bit more drama.
Definitely still early in this one. This is one of the better battles on track at the moment. There's Chris Darling on the inside. He's going to take a peek to the inside of Garrett Austin. Austin there driving for Team Gold Octopus.
I gotta say the weather, the sunset reflecting off all these cars, it's a gorgeous race night.
Yeah, let's take a look here. Look at how that Gold Octopus shines in the sun. But I gotta say, that sun beating down on the driver's eyes, heading off into the corner, it's going to be difficult for a few laps until it falls behind those billboards there in entering turn 3. As we ride on board here with the 7 of Garrett Austin. And you could really listen to where Garrett is letting off, letting the car coast in, maybe a little bit tap of the gas to help right the car, and then hard on the gas just to try to get away, because there's Chris Darling on his tail looking to make a move.
Yeah, very close, man. Those bumps.
They are no joke. A little bit further back in the pack, we see another battle, this one for right around 10th spot. 1-9 is Stephen Kirby has it. This is for the fight for 11th. Stacy Hunter and Evan Williams trying to put on some pressure as well.
So here's a question for you. With these cars, are they able to adjust their suspension, or what they got is what they got?
This is a fixed setup league, so what they've got is what they've got, and everyone has the exact same equipment. So it's one of those things where, all right, how well do you handle the car? How well does the setup suit your driving style? And if it doesn't suit your driving style, you're going to have to figure it out quick. Bonnie Coyne in the chat cheering for Go Gold. Ava Mera says, let's go Matt Gagnon. And I apologize. I don't know if it's Gagnon. Let me know in the comments there if I'm pronouncing Matt's name improperly. If so, I apologize. Because there he is, leading the field. We'll take a look at the lap history, and just about equal between Gannon and Bogue. See, this time by, Gannon was about almost a tenth slower than Bogue. But now here's a battle for second. Nicholas Cody to the inside of Bogue. See where your favorite driver is on track at the moment. Cody right on the back bumper of Bogue. Trying to set something up. Is Cody going to get the run? He does. Cody to the inside, right on the quarter panel. Bogue tries to pinch. That's not going to work for him. Here they are diving down into turn number 2. Side-by-side action. Cody to the inside. Wheel to wheel. Now they're right about the door as they head down the bumpy, long back straightaway. As you see the rest of the field fanning out. Bogue goes low. Cody says, I'm going to go high. Just behind them, there's Richard Reagan Jr. Reagan, as we said on the start of the broadcast, started back in P17, decided not to qualify. And he's already on the charge, up 13 spots from the green flag. That's 1 spot per lap as we're getting ready to start lap number 13.
What a run.
So he has definitely been a man on a mission. Cody there in P2. trying to hold off both Bogue and Reagan. Here comes Reagan taking a peek to the inside. Not able to do anything quite yet. Once we get to the backstretch, this is going to be a great camera angle to see how these bumps really affect the driver.
Yeah.
And Reagan gets his nose right to the inside of Cody. They're side by side. Oh, that was close. Right on the back bumper of Reagan. And you can kind of tell with the shaky cam how heavy those bumps are. And you can see Cody there just sawing on the wheel, trying to keep the car straight, pointed in the right direction. Let's jump on board here with Reagan. Reagan looking to get a good drive off the corner. He's going to find the back bumper of Cody. Is he going to try to dive it in up top? He does. Not quite enough to get around the outside of Cody. A little crossover move. Here comes Reagan to the inside. They're side by side. Battle for second. Gagnon sees this in his mirrors and says, all right, boys, go ahead and fight. I'm going to just check out now.
What a good race we got going on. A lot of little battles in the backfield. Beautiful day. It's been a great race.
Speaking of some battles in the back, we are going to get to those shortly, but Cody right now is just saying, no, I am not letting you drive away. We're going to fight right to the end on the back bumper of these cars. Oh, man, that's tight there. Big battle for P2.
Wonder what this means for those three and their gas versus the leader.
Yeah, I think at this point they're not even worrying about fuel saving or tire saving. They're just going to sit there and fight for position. As now Cody falling into the clutches of Bogue. Bogue now on the back bumper of Cody.
Yeah, they are catching up.
And you could really see how much the draft affects it, because when Cody and Reagan were battling out side by side, Gagnon was able to drive away. But this time, now they're all in single file, able to kind of draft and push with each other. They're right back up to the bumper of Gagnon. Now here's Bogue to the outside of Cody. Can Bogue do anything? The high side is usually the side that has more momentum. Obviously, the inside is the shorter way around the track. Here's Bogue trying to put a little bit more air onto the front end of the 9 just to slow him down a bit. Bogue should have the position coming out of turn 2. And he does. So we'll move Reese Bogue up to P3. Nicholas Cody down to P4. Martin Pluth there in the background trying to chase these guys down. A little bit further back in the pack. Here's the 33 of Evan Williams to the inside of Diaz. Side by side, heading off into turn number 3. Williams drives in deep all the way down low, but here comes Diaz with a little bit more steam around the outside.
We are neck and neck up in the front over here.
Battle for the lead. This time Gagnon on the outside. Here comes Reagan on the inside. Great battle brewing. And Reagan says, yep, I'll take that. He's going to drive off. But Gagnon right on his back bumper. Great battle going off. As this is the distance right there, inches. As Gagnon tries to sneak a peek down low, can't quite do anything about it.
Just saying a row.
As the look here on Reagan, clear track ahead. Tonight's cameras are brought to you courtesy of Track Cams for Gourmets. If you like these camera angles that we're using here tonight, make sure you check them out online. Link in the description of the video below.
Really, always awesome camera angles with these this pack.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic, and the amount of work that goes into these camera angles to make them as true to real life as possible is wild. As looks like we have our first car on pit road. That's going to be the number 4 car of Josiah Vincent. Let's see if this is early pitting. As the crew goes around, going to change right side tires now. So this could open the floodgates now for the different pit strategies. Just Vincent on pit road at the moment. Meanwhile, up at the front of the field, we'll see the leaders come flying by now. Everyone pretty much minding their own P's and Q's.
It's interesting that we got an early pit. I wonder if he's trying to play the long game.
Yeah, that very well could be the case. I mean, I don't know what a full fuel window is going to look like. Mostly because when it comes to these races, the fuel is a little bit different. They're not running a 100% fuel load. And for tonight's race, they are running 65% fuel with 3 sets of tires in the pits. So it could be a little bit different as, one car spinning down onto pit road.
I don't know if that was on purpose.
That would be the number 92 of Tim Branson. We'll take a look here and see what happened to Branson. As here comes Branson now. As Branson just heading down onto pit road like normal. Right on the apron between the flat and the banked portion of the track. On the brakes a little too hard. He's able to lock it up. Little tap to the inside wall, but I don't think that's going to be too bad damage. Doesn't look like he has too much damage on the front end, but a big loss there for the 92 of Tim Branson. As Branson drives off pit road now.
Guess that goes to shows those bumps are everywhere.
That is for sure. And especially too, it's so difficult to get onto pit road here because you do have the banking. It's progressive banking here at Auto Club Speedway as well. So, you're going to have, the high line is the most banking, a little bit less one lane down and so on and so forth, as looks like Ben Mashburn makes his way down pit road. But when you're on that bottom line, which is still banked, and the apron, which is far less banked, you're kind of creating a weird imbalance on the car. And because of that, if you get on the gas a little too much or too much rear brake, your car is going to spin around just because it's a little bit awkward, just from the balance of things.
Yeah, it's crazy with this track. It's like, you think you have to be really good to race this. You also have to be really good to not race this.
So Richard Reagan Jr. out of Massachusetts leading the field. Got about 0.7 seconds over the 114 of Matt Gagnon. Just behind him, Reese Bogue in the middle of our pit stop cycle at the moment. Evan Williams on pit road. Same with Ryan Newman right now. There's Williams getting into his pit box hard. Great stop right on the sign. Oh, little overdrive. Of
I
course,
still
the
haven't figured
broadcaster's
out.
curse.
Yeah, it's all right. I still haven't figured out where I'm supposed to park when I race. I always come in hot. Oh, looks like Josh came in a little hot on pit road as well. Came in a little sideways.
Let's take a look at that one. If I can find that camera shot. Chris Darling makes his way into his box. A lot of other cars coming down pit road. Big time for pit stops.
Yeah, I guess there was the one just a little early, but maybe according to plan.
Yeah, right now, I mean, if they're able to save, they should be able to make it the rest of the way if they wound up pitting early. That being said, there's now 32 laps to go. I think at this point, if you can only do about 30 laps, you're hoping for a caution and saying, all right, caution laps are basically double green flag pit stops as far as fuel consumption goes, or half of a green flag. It's basically 2 to 1. Every yellow flag lap is essentially worth 2 green flag laps. So with you guys coming down pit road, you're going to save. If a yellow comes out, you might be able to stretch it a little bit. But pitting just before halfway could be a little, could be interesting.
Well, I think he pitted all the way back in lap, I think it was 22. So that's...
Let's take a look here. Looks like the only car is Ryan Shelton, who is yet to pit. Everyone else pitting around lap 27 for Reagan, Gagnon, and Darling. Ben Mashburn back on lap 25. Earliest pit stop I'm seeing is lap 23 for Branson and Diaz.
Oh, that's what it was then. That's 22, 23.
Lap 21 for Josiah Vincent. So
very
early there. Vincent might be actually trying a 3-stop or a 2-stop race. Pit on lap 20, then on lap 40. But that could be interesting here.
Yeah, it's always...
Shelton, trouble getting down onto pit road.
Same spot.
We'll take a look at that one on the replay because that was an interesting one. As we'll try to see what happened with the 97. So he's coming in pretty hot, and right there, the back end gets a little squirrely. It steps out on him. Hard impact to the inside wall. Little connection issue as well.
I'm sure that had a little bit to play in there.
Able to get that one going. I'm interested to see if we can fly our drone cam up there. Yeah, look at that heavy damage to the inside of that 97 car. So definitely an interesting wrench getting thrown into this one. Meanwhile, out front, though, Reagan has opened up a 2.5-second lead over the 114 machine of Gagnon.
Yeah, really just cruising at this point.
So a 2.5-second lead. Chris Darling as well. Good battle now going on for P5 between Garrett Austin as well as, a gaggle of race cars at the moment. A couple of cars a lap down. But this battle here is for position. Here is Austin on the inside. Ben Mashburn on the outside. Austin just says, yep, I'll take this as he drives away. Chris Melton is in there too in the 49 machine. As well as the 109 of Kirby. Kirby inside of Melton. A lot of great looking paint schemes there too. I like the chrome on Melton's car. I'm a big sucker for chrome mixed with matte to really show off that contrast. Oh, love it.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
But we are 33 laps into tonight's broadcast. It's the Sim Rap Guy 120 at Auto Club Speedway. Make sure you check him out on Facebook, facebook.com/the Sim Rap Guy. Some other great sponsors for tonight's broadcast is our friends at the Gold Octopus. Make sure you check them out on Etsy, Instagram, and all the other social medias. Aces Axes, Mark's Pizzeria, Denton County Carpet Cleaning, and of course, tonight's sponsor, the Sim Rap Guy.
I'll be checking him out soon.
Yes. Well, I'm sure we have some couple of updated paint schemes we need to get done.
Yeah, just a couple.
So just over halfway in tonight's broadcast of the Sim Rap Guy 120. Richard Reagan out to a 2.3 second lead over Gagnon. All these drivers here pretty much stuck under a blanket with one another. We'll move up, look at Ben Mashburn. He's kind of leading this charge. Garrett Austin starting to drive away a bit. Kirby takes a peek to the outside, but instead tucks in line. And take a look at the speed. 195 miles an hour as they duck off into turn one.
That's wild with how bumpy that road is.
Back up out of the corner, already at 170. And in the draft, they're going to be going even faster. 199, 190. 189, 190 into turn three. So that draft is definitely helping them pick up a little bit more speed. Here comes Kirby to the outside of Mashburn. Mashburn shuts the door. Kirby peeks down low. Here comes Stephen Kirby. Kirby to the inside. They're side by side. Is Kirby going to get the pass done into one? He does, at least for the time being. Mashburn has a little more momentum on his side, but instead he cuts down low, maybe trying to cross over. Can't quite get it that time. And we'll move Kirby up to P6.
What I am shocked is how bumpy and how crazy and the sun and everything with this track, that this has been a very clean race.
It really has. And oh, here comes Ben Mashburn heading down pit road.
I think the most wrecks we've had is going into the pits.
Yeah, it looks like Mashburn is doing something very, very interesting. He knew, okay, I might be a couple of laps short. I'm going to duck down now. I know for a fact I can make it the rest of the way from here. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to get my fuel. He is going to get tires as well. And he's going to be set, and he might actually be in the best position at this moment because he's going to have the freshest tires. And when everyone else has to come down and pit, he'll be long gone and able to kind of pick up that spot as everyone else knows they have to come back down pit road one more time. So this could be, if not the race-winning move, a really good move to kind of steal some track position as this race winds down.
Yeah, very interesting move.
Meanwhile, up front, here's the 9 of Nicholas Cody. Cody trying to track down the 11 of Chris Darling. Can't quite get it done yet. Kirby hot on the tail of the 34 of Garrett Austin just behind him. Here comes Austin, looking a little high on the track, sliding it through. Looks like Chris Darling heads down pit road now. So Darling taking a book out of the Ben Mashburn playbook there. And he's going to come down and say, all right, I like what Mashburn did. I'm going to try it myself. Both Max Graphics Racing drivers.
Yeah, I'm wondering who's going to try to stay as long as they can out. Are there going to be a couple people who are just going to try to hold off on the whole? So there were a couple people that pitted around 30, so I wonder if there's going to be a couple people who are just hoping to keep those 30 laps under without going in.
Yeah, and I think that there very well could be. There could be some guys maybe clutching, heading off into the corner, just trying to save as much fuel as they can. And I think that is a very viable option for a lot of these guys. So I think that's going to be interesting as these laps wind down. There's 20 to go, and still a lot of racing left for everyone out there.
Yeah. So you said they hold the clutch going into the corners. What does that give them?
So essentially, if they're holding the clutch in, that means the engine isn't generating any RPMs or anything like that. They're essentially putting the car in neutral and letting the car just idle as they go in instead of having it run. And that, in theory, would be saving a little tiny bit of fuel. But with the way iRacing maps fuel consumption and that kind of stuff, it doesn't save as much as it would in real life unless you are literally shutting the engine off and then restarting the engine coming out of the corner, which is a very good, viable fuel-saving option. But if you're in a pack like this, you're going to lose a tremendous amount of time.
Yeah. Very interesting option.
So Matt Gagnon heads down pit road. So this should be his last pit stop of the race. That's going to move everybody up a spot. Take a look here at the pit stop lap for your leaders. Looks like Allen is on pit road now. So a lot of drivers heading down pit lane. Here's Reagan. Reagan now on pit road. So Garrett Austin is going to be the leader. Now we'll have to see when Austin decides to jump down pit road.
Yeah, I'd have to imagine it's going to be soon.
I mean, I would expect, especially now with those drivers who did pit a little bit earlier, their tires are in the prime of their time. And a lot of these other drivers pit back on lap 27. We're on now, on what, lap 40 and change. So
43, give or take.
Yeah, so I mean, they've got some pretty old tires at this point. Auto Club Speedway does not have new asphalt, so it's not super kind to these tires. So I think if I'm any of the leaders now, I'm either going to stay out and hope for the best, or I'm going to pit now, try to salvage what I can, because a lot of those guys like Mashburn, like Darling, they're coming, and they may be in the catbird seat, if you will. Just looking at the speed that these cars are experiencing through the corners.
That's crazy.
No one else heading down pit road quite yet. So we'll see. Do the guys up front have enough fuel to make it all the way? I don't know. Maybe Martin Plute or Nicholas Cody do. They last pitted on lap 29.
Yeah, I think they were going for the real long game. Two pits if they could.
Here's Garrett Austin. Look at the speed difference between Austin, who is the leader, and there's Chris Melton trying to take a look to the outside. Is Austin heading down pit road? He is. So both Evan Williams and Garrett Austin.
Whoop.
Oh, hard hit to the inside. Tough break there for Garrett Austin. Having himself a fantastic run, just got a little too hard on the brakes. And unfortunately for him, that might be night over. Take a look at that one again on the Tabletop Trio replay.
Man, that pitting is really giving people troubles.
as we'll take a look on board. As here comes Austin heading down pit road. Taking it nice and easy, and right there, a little too much rear brake. Hard to the inside wall, and look at that wheel. Cocked all the way to the left like that, trying to go straight. That's a ton of wheel damage, and that very well could be night over for the driver of the number 34 machine.
Oof.
Yeah, tough break.
That pit is really... The way you have to turn in to get over there and go from the curve to the flat is really not kind of the vehicles, because you're trying to brake in the process, and I guess once you lose one of the tires that goes over, I mean that's it. You start to spin, and welcome to the wall over there.
Yeah, and I think that should have been one of my keys to the race, as we see Ryan Newman head to the pit boxes, just learning how to get on pit road. I know I'd mentioned it during qualifying that you're going to have to practice coming down pit road as hard as you can to try to not spin, and I've been a victim of this pit road so many times myself. It is incredibly difficult to get on. It seems easy because it's wide open, super wide pit entry. You don't really have to worry about hitting a wall or anything like that, but that transition from the bank to the flat plus a little too much brake bias could spell disaster. As now here comes Chris Melton down on pit road. Melton looks like he's going to come off with no problems.
So
just behind him is another car heading down pit road as well.
So Plute pitted all the way back in 29, right?
Yeah, he was last on pit road, both he and Cody. Last on pit road back on lap 29.
And now they are 1 and 2.
And Richard Reagan Jr. up to P3. Last pitted on lap 43. Matt Gagnon in 5th at the moment.
A lot of time to make up for Reagan, though.
Yeah, I mean, if we're taking a look here, let's take a look at Nicholas Cody and his lap times. Reagan, almost a second and a half faster every single time since he's pit. So we're waiting for Reagan to come across the line to complete lap 49. We'll see his time show up on the bottom of your screen there. 1.3 seconds faster.
Yeah, so he's gonna catch up. You got 10 laps to go. Oh, maybe not. 10 laps to go. 16 and a half seconds to catch up. That's gonna be close.
It's gonna be tight. That is if Plute and Cody are able to stay out. They may not be able to stay out on these tires, so with this fuel. So, I mean, that throws a whole different wrench into into this works.
Yeah, I'm wondering maybe the reason that Reagan is getting that second and a half per lap is because they might be babying the throttle.
Yeah,
knowing that they have such a big lead, they'll like baby the throttle, baby that gas. And when they catch up, just know that they're going to have to go full throttle when they get them.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think both Cody and Plute are trying to save as much fuel as possible. They're probably in extreme fuel saving mode. And, let's jump on board here with the 9 of Cody. Let's listen to the engine as he goes off into the corner. Big coast. On the throttle, not full throttle. Still doesn't sound like he's full throttle. He may only be, 3/4 throttle heading down, completely off the gas. There goes the 92 by. 92 on fresh tires. Same with the 12.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to coast it out. I think they're like, all right, it's 8 to go. I think we got enough gas. Let's just give it like a 70, 75%.
Yeah, I really think if both Plute and Cody are able to make it, that is going to be a Herculean effort on their part to save fuel and be able to get there at the end. They have a 13.4 second lead over third place Reagan, and Gagnon there 22 seconds back.
So that sounds like a lot, but they've already lost 3.5 seconds over the last 3 laps.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I don't have the F1, you know, oh, so and so will overtake in X amount of laps option. But now that gap down to 12.3 seconds with 6 laps to go. I don't think Reagan's going to get there in time. So now you're kind of racing yourself, and you're racing your fuel consumption. Can you save enough to get 5.5 more laps around this racetrack? That's the big question for both Plout and Cody.
And can you do that in a time that keeps Reagan away?
That is going to be huge if these guys are able to say, I mean, I said it once, I'll say it again, it's going to be a gargantuan effort for these guys if they're able to save enough fuel to win this.
Yeah.
Although I will say I am a little bit surprised that Plout isn't clutching into the corner. I would have almost expected he would, but maybe he says, all right, I'm good to go. Maybe I'm half a lap to the good, or maybe I'm a quarter of a lap to the bad. I'm just going to coast it. I've made my bed. I'm going to lay down in it. And we'll see. I mean, Plout's driving away from Cody now. He's got about a second lead.
Yeah. I thought, because they're teammates, correct?
I don't think they are teammates. I know Darling and Plout are teammates. I don't believe they are teammates.
I almost expected them to be kind of like drafting each other to try to get a little bit of fuel. I'm surprised they're able to pull them away.
Yeah, I am too. I'm very surprised here as we take a look at the interval and all the info here. Yeah, Max Graphics Racing for Martin Plout, as well as the 11 of Chris Darling. 18 of Ben Mashburn, another teammate. And listen to that change in engine sound between the 81 of Plout and the lapped car that had driven by them, or pardon me, that's the 9 of Cody. The change in engine sound between those two is pretty wild.
Yeah.
Barely any throttle being used through the corner. Looks like Cody may be slowing down even more.
Yeah, he's 2.5 seconds behind. I wonder if he's now also like extreme fuel saving.
At this point, I feel like he has to be. About a 1.3 second gap, 2 laps to go. Oh, by the way, Richard Reagan, 5.5 seconds now behind this group.
I don't think he's going to be able to make up 6 seconds in 2 laps.
Yeah, I can't see that happening either. And now look at this little gamesmanship. Plout driving down to the inside saying, no, I'm not giving Cody any draft whatsoever. But here it is, white flag in the air. Can Plout hold on? Can Cody hold on? Or is Reagan going to run away with this one? White flag, let's see what happens. Here comes Martin Plout.
Oh, he's coming in quick.
One. Very, very slow on the racetrack.
Yeah, I was going to say, Cody, coming in real quick. made up a second and almost just that turn.
That black car is Reagan. Here comes Cody now. 0.7 of a second. Out of turn number 4, checkered flag in the air. Here comes Martin Plout. And Plout is going to win this one in a huge fuel stretch.
Yeah, wow.
And Plout's going to win. Cody comes in second. Reagan comes home third. Matt Gagnon is going to come home in P4. Here's Chris Darling. He'll come home P5. Melton in 6th. Evan Williams comes across 7th. Good battle here. Mashburn gets Kirby at the line. Here's Jason Shu coming home P10. Great run for Shu. Didn't mention him at all in this one, but a great run for Shu. Joey Barrett comes home 11th. Diaz in 12th. Tim Branson 13th. Matt Allen 14th. Edward Pell's first car 1 lap down in P15. What a finish. What a race.
Yeah, what an effort.
Absolutely wild with the fuel saving. I cannot wait to chat with these guys just to see how they were able to get that one saved for the last couple of laps. So we're going to be able to chat with our top 3 finishers, Reagan Cody, as well as Martin Plute. Looks like Reagan is already in the interview waiting room. We're just going to grab Cody as well as Plute. Let's see if we can find him. Taking a look through the Discord. Still just trying to figure out where everyone is as far as, rooms are concerned. We'll move Plute there into the interview waiting room. But Joe, I believe you're going to be catching up with our 3rd place finisher, driver of the number 56 machine. Go ahead and take it away, Joe.
Sounds good. Hey, how are you, Reagan?
How's it going?
I see. First of all, how was the race for you?
Oh, it was good. I love this track, so it's nice to come here again, considering they don't come here in real life anymore. So it's nice to get to do a race at Auto Club, and yeah, I thought it was a great race.
How do you prepare? We were watching the track is so bumpy. What was your game plan with kind of dealing with that?
I mean, I don't know. This has always been one of my fastest and favorite tracks. That's on iRacing, so I really didn't put too much thought into it. I ran in another league here about a year ago, and I put like 1,500 laps in because it was for a championship and pretty big race for me. So I kind of like know this track by heart now. So I just find it very fun, and I don't know. I try to help the Golden Octopus guys a little bit in practice there, and Matt Gagnon got up there. Reese was running good up there until he made that mistake on pit road. But
Yeah,
congrats to the 81 and the 8 for stretching that fuel mileage. I didn't realize how close we were on fuel until it was too late, and it was too late into that second run for me to start saving fuel. So, but congrats to them for sure, because that's definitely not easy.
yeah. I was going to ask you about that. They went with the extreme fuel saving, but I mean, huge effort. You were a few seconds away coming back. We didn't think you were going to get anywhere close. You were at that point 17 seconds behind, and you ended the race like a little less than 3. It was going to be really close. I didn't know if you'd be able to catch him.
Yeah, I didn't know if I was gonna be able to get to them. I was kind of hoping that they weren't going to be able to make it, and that they would have ran out like going into 3 or somewhere down the middle of the backstretch, or they would have just pit on the white flag or something, coming to the white or something. I don't know, but yeah, I think if I was paying more attention to the fuel, if I could have stretched the first run out like at least even another lap, and I kept that in the back of my mind, I probably could have stretched it enough. But I'm still new to the 65% fuel tank, so it's definitely nice having a lot of fuel strategy, because we had some last week and it was real fun, and I'm looking forward to having more fuel strategy races.
Yeah, it seems awesome. Do you have anybody you want to shout out?
Yeah, the Golden Octopus boys, Regenberg Motorsports, State Analyzer, JZ Photography, Neonism Paints, Multiple Sclerosis Society, Mission 22. You guys that put on the broadcast do an awesome job, and everybody that puts on the league.
Awesome. Thank you so much, and again, congratulations on taking 3rd.
Thank you.
All right, that was our third place finisher, and I'm now joined by our second place finisher. Second time in as many weeks that we get to chat with him, but our second place finisher, driver of the 9 machine, Nicholas Cody. And Nick, first of all, congratulations there on P2. How nervous were you coming to the checkered flag on fuel level?
I ran out coming out of 4. I think I ran out like a second or two after Martin because I had a little bit more momentum than he did. But just happy we made it to the line.
And talk me through that strategy. What was this kind of the plan going in, saying, all right, I'm going to run it as deep as I can into the first run, and maybe try to pit it halfway and see what happens? Or was it kind of a, hey, wait, maybe I can do this kind of thing?
It was kind of just a spur of the moment decision. I saw that I was like 4th, running with the front pack, and then I kind of backed off a little bit to try to save gas because I was like a lap or two short from making it to halfway, and then I ran out of gas coming down pit road for the pit stop, and then I was just full fuel save for the second run.
And were you able to clutch it in at all, or was it just kind of, clutching isn't going to do all that much, more so just let off and lift and coast?
Yeah, I clutched it.
It was definitely fun to watch and very nerve-wracking on the broadcast, just to kind of see, are they going to make it? Are they going to run out? What's going on? Taking a look now to next week, racing at New Hampshire, flat track, 1 mile oval. What are your thoughts there? Racing, it looks to be your pseudo home track, if you will. What are your thoughts about New Hampshire?
Oh, I love New Hampshire. One of my favorite tracks. I've been going there since I was like 5 years old for the Cup race every single year. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Awesome. And before I let you go, I'm sure you have some shout outs, so let's hear them.
Shout out to my fuel guy for filling up on the pit stop. You guys, with the broadcast, everyone who puts on this league. It's been fun.
Awesome. Well, Nick, congratulations there on P2, and hopefully we'll talk to you 3 weeks in a row after New Hampshire.
Yeah, hopefully. Have a good night, guys.
All right, that was our second place finisher, Nicholas Cody, and we will take a look here if I can figure out what's going on with our interview waiting. There we go. And Joe, you're moving up now and in victory lane, chatting with our winner, Martin Plute.
Hey, Martin, congratulations on the huge win. Your pitting fuel technique was insane. We didn't think you'd finish the race. What was your plan going into the race?
I didn't have one. I got to about lap 3, 4. Actually, Ryan Shelton was kind of what triggered me in the head. He was backing way off, and I was like, "Oh, we can make it if we back off." And so that was fuel saving mode at that point.
I noticed I was going through your laps, and none of your laps were particularly the fastest, but we noticed you pitted on 30, and then we were kind of like, is he going to try to go for a 30 lap back half? And turns out, yes, correct. What was your plan on the last 10 laps? You were really slowing down. We were a little worried that they were going to catch you, but it seemed like you held off.
Oh yeah, I thought they were going to catch us. About 5 to go, I saw he was about 10 seconds back, and I figured that was the end of it because he was need to stop. So I was like, well, top 3, we tried it, and I was not the fastest, and I will be the first one to admit it. So I wanted to try something different, and yeah, it worked out. I didn't think it would, but
yeah, I'd say it worked out
right off 4.
How much did you have gas ending the race, or did you just coast by the finish line?
No, it was out. It was sputtering going into 30, and then it ran completely out off 4.
Well, amazing effort. Do you have anybody you want to shout out?
Yeah, no, thank you guys. Thanks for broadcasting. This is always fun to go back and watch. It's funner when you're doing well, so this will be fun. Uh, but yeah, no, everybody who puts the league on, it's pretty good to come out here run Xfinity cars. I love these cars, so uh, yeah, no, it's just great. Thank you guys.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Congratulations again. We're looking forward to seeing how you do next week.
Thanks. See you guys next week.
All right. Well, that will do it for our interview portion of tonight's broadcast. Joe, next week, going to the Magic Mile, New Hampshire Motor Speedway. That is going to be a ton of fun. A very difficult track, heavy braking, very tight quarters racing. I think that is going to be a very interesting one for this field.
Yeah, I'm super excited for it. Hopefully, the pits don't curse everyone.
Especially after tonight's race. Let's take a look here at the race results for tonight's SimRap Guy 120 here at Auto Club. Martin Plute is your winner. Nicholas Cody in P2. Richard Reagan in third. Matt Gagnon in P4. Chris Darling, SimRap Guy himself, in P5. Chris Melton in sixth. Evan Williams picks up a 7th place finish. Ben Mashburn in 8th, Stephen Kirby 9th, and Jason Shu rounds out the top 10. Joey Barrett in 11th, Sidarius Diaz in 12th, Tim Branson 13th, Matt Allen 14th, Edward Peltz in 15th, Scott Leonard 16th, Ryan Newman in 17th, 1 lap down, Ryan Shelton in 18th, Stacy Hunter 19th, Josiah Vincent in 20th, Zach Williams in 21st, Reese Bogue in 22nd. Garrett Austin, unfortunate ending for him. He was having one heck of a race, finishing in 23rd place. So, a very, very fun race for us tonight. In a bit of a programming note, Tabletop Trio podcast back live tomorrow night, doing a cooking episode, a special cooking episode. So make sure you check us out tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern, right here on Twitch and YouTube, or wherever you find podcasts the very next day. Joe will be cooking something that he does not know what he's going to be cooking until I show him the ingredients. So a little Iron Chef style broadcast for tomorrow. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, what can go wrong?
But don't forget, tonight's race is brought to you by our friends at The Sim Rap Guy. Make sure you check them out. Facebook.com/The Sim Rap Guy. Chris and his crew are fantastic artists, always do a great job. They're dedicated to blending passion with precision, and they utilize the experience gained in NASCAR to provide some of the best looking custom iRacing wraps on the service. And look, Sim Rap Guy rather, knows that whether you're winning races or you're just trying to cut your teeth to move up the iRacing ranks, looking good is important. Make sure you check them out. Visit them on Facebook, facebook.com/The Sim Rap Guy, and get your order in today. The pricing guide is up on your screen. Super affordable, professionally done paint schemes. And yeah, I'm going to need to update my scheme. So, Chris, I know you're watching. I got to reach out to you and get some new paints updated for sure. But I think that is a perfect time for us to end tonight's broadcast. Thank you so much for watching tonight's Speed Xfinity Series race presented by the Gold Octopus. We'll be back with you next week at New Hampshire. So until then, I'm Bob.
I'm Joe.
This has been the Tabletop Trio Podcast Network. Have a great night. Stay safe.